Okay, we are back, Mr. Fedko. Here I have in front of you.
You got the
NFL standings.
Yeah, but poor Kenny's not here to defend himself.
That's okay. He doesn't matter.
I mean, look,
San Diego's 4-3.
Yeah, San Diego's up there, and you have the Raiders now.
The Raiders are ahead of them.
By the way, the Raiders and the Titans will win tiebreakers against the Steelers.
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think as I was looking at the standings last week, I thought 3-5. You're still very much in it. 2-6, you're out of it, and I see no way of them going into New England and winning that game. I guess stranger things have happened. And Brady definitely is hurt, and they lost one of their offensive linemen this week to injury.
Yeah.
They're banged up. But they got Gronkowski back.
The Miami Dolphins were a fraud, obviously.
Yeah, they were a fraud. And
the Steelers have them. They have at New England, and then Buffalo and Detroit.
Buffalo's terrible, too.
Yeah.
Well, Detroit, now that they found a quarterback, that was amazing what Detroit did yesterday. They're going to lose to Detroit. I don't care if it's here or not. And I think the whole thing's going to careen quick, so severely out of control again here. It already has. I mean, when you look at the only game that the Minnesota Vikings, who looked pathetic, the only game that they won was against the Steelers.
With Matt Castle.
And then the Jets game was looking awfully worthless. I mean, I watched some of that Bengal-Jet game. I was at a sports bar yesterday trying to watch that.
The Steelers scored one touchdown against them. The Bengals scored 7. 8.
At will. One guy scored 4.
What was the final? 56
49
or 49?
They were scoring at will.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the Jets are a poorly coached team, too. I guess I want to get back to first of all, the elephant in the room is the one that Dejan mentioned it. I wasn't mentioned. I couldn't see it in the other paper. We talked about it last week. Charlie Batch talked about it, made a big deal about it. The fact that they refuse to change the fact that they need to go out to the West Coast early, like most other teams do, to acclimate.
I don't know if most other teams do.
I think a lot of teams do.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I
think they do.
Disagree with you. I just
obviously it ain't working going out Saturday. He needs to try to change anything at this point.
Well, I wrote about that in my column this week, and I made that trip many times, and I talked about it, and I mentioned in my column that I made the exact trip that the Steelers took, and every time I did, I always would think, boy, I can't believe that a team would not be affected by this. I don't have to play football. I just got to get up and go sit and watch the game. If I had to play the game, it changes your schedule around when you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, and when they lined up on that field yesterday, I don't care what they say, it was 10 o'clock in the morning in their heads. It was. It just is. You one day, especially when who would leave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? It's not like you leave in the morning and you get all that day to acclimate. They would leave at 2 in the afternoon. And so by the time you land, it's 4 o'clock Oakland time. It takes another hour to get, by the time you get into your room and get, I don't know how far away the hotel is in Oakland, I forget, from the airport or what airport they flew into. But, by the time you get loaded onto the buses and you get your police escort to the hotel and get your key and go up to your room, you're talking about 5 o'clock, but it's 8 in your head. Now you're supposed to go to bed. Are you supposed to go to bed at 11 in your head time or 11 in Oakland time? Because if you go to bed at 11 Oakland time, it's 2. All right. Now you're getting up, and it's all that's what they call jet lag. It takes a while to get used to it. So, my point was in my column, maybe it means nothing, but what would it hurt to leave on Friday? It wouldn't make things worse. You'd have all day Saturday you could practice out there, do a walkthrough somewhere.
Totally
you could go to they'd let you in the stadium or whatever you wanted to do. So I know he wouldn't even address the issue on Tuesday. And then he walked out and told people they had too much time on their hands.
Well, it's
they lost. So if they would have won, he would have been able to say it doesn't matter.
I'll give this to LeBeau, and I want to get back to the bigger picture, which to me is the coaches. And I think the coaches lost this game, all of them, starting with Tomlin. But let's start with LeBeau. There's no doubt in my mind they went over the fact that Terrell Pryor is a great running quarterback. So obviously
they went over that exact play, he runs that play the first play of the game.
I'm sure they did. So that's on the players. If you look at the rest of the defensive performance, it was really good. Perrell's prior quarterback
He had
rate's
80
like
yards.
25.
He
Okay?
had 80 yards.
They pretty much shut him down. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that the Raiders were going to be shut down.
He ran for more yards than he threw.
Yeah, and look, the Raiders were in, fetal position. We're going to try to hang on here and run the clock out because these other coaches are morons, and they played right into their hands. Because Tomlin has an absolute deserved reputation as having no idea what he does time management. Yeah. That goes now down to Haley and goes down to the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. But as much as everybody, as Ben absolutely deserves blame, Ben's out there in the heat of the battle. He's thinking about 8,000 things, and he's highly paid, whatever. That's why you have coaches, though. Anytime there's a clock situation, let me just finish.
Okay.
Anytime there's a clock situation, I am always going to blame the coach. Always going to blame the coach because the coach has the ultimate ability to be screaming at Ben Roethlisberger before that drive begins, which I'm guaranteeing he didn't do. Todd Haley or Tomlin or both need to go up to Ben and say, Ben, we are going to win this game. We need 2 possessions. We've already burned a timeout on my stupid, trying to overturn something. So we can't lose another one. Whatever you do, don't call a timeout. Now I'm telling you, other coaching staffs would have done it. Did these idiots? No. I'm guaranteeing you they didn't do it. Would they answer the question if you asked them? Probably not. But if I was at that post-game news conference, I promise I would have asked that question. I just said, Coach, did you tell Ben before that drive that he called a timeout not to use any timeouts? He'd probably laugh that off like some stupid question. Well, who's stupid now? Because they'd have got the ball back with a minute to go, and they'd have got the field goal. I know Suisa missed 2, but
Jory Rand, I'll give him credit. He opened his post-game comment last night when Bob threw it to him, on the field or in the locker room. He said maybe they have to think about hiring a time management coach.
Great.
Wait a minute, though. See, I mean that may not be a bad idea.
I'm with you.
But here's the thing: if I'm the boss and I come to the conclusion that I need to hire a time management coach to augment my coach that I'm paying $4 million a year, I get rid of my coach.
John, this again gets back to what if
you need a time management coach, you need a coach.
If